While I haven't been posting much on this channel, I've been in the middle of moving, had a lot going on. I've talked about it before. My pro wrestling channel's doing well, so it's kind of taken away from this channel. I lost some motivation in this channel. One, because competition reality shows haven't been very good. The soap operas, especially American soap operas, haven't been very good. So it was hard to keep motivation for this channel. So I'm kind of taking it in a new direction. It's not to say I'm not going to go back to modern soap operas. I'm still going to be doing classic soap operas to find the best soap opera ever. And I'm still going to be talking about Big Brother this summer. Will Survivor return to the channel? We shall see. But I also want to start, along with my best soap opera ever experiment that I'm doing, I want to have a best TV show ever tournament, and we are going to begin that soon. It's going to be very complicated because I just can't help but complicate things on this channel, I think, and that's maybe why the pro wrestling channel does so well, because it's not complicated at all. But this channel is going to remain complicated. There's gonna be a lot of shows in this. It's gonna be a long, very long tournament for years and years. I'm hoping you will all follow along. There will be fan voting, so you can vote for which show you think deserves the win in that matchup. It's gonna be only a few episodes at a time from each show going up against each other, so you can either watch along, or you can, if you've already seen the show or you're a big fan of the show, obviously that will probably be your vote if you're like a stan like that. But for now, let's talk about the first 8 shows in this tournament. We're basically going in chronological order here. So these 8 shows will be from the early 50s to about the mid 60s. Only 4 of these shows will make it to the second round of this tournament. We start with I Love Lucy, which started way back in October 15th, 1951 on CBS. A lot of these first shows will be on CBS. I guess CBS made a lot of hits back in the 50s and 60s. I've seen a lot of I Love Lucy when I was younger. Very funny show. I think what will set I Love Lucy apart from other sitcoms, especially older sitcoms like this, is that I think I Love Lucy is legit laugh out loud funny. And when I grade sitcoms, one of the things I will be grading is how actually funny it is. Because if you're a sitcom, you should at least be kind of funny. So I Love Lucy will have that nod over some of these other sitcoms because I do think it is actually a very funny show. So I've seen I Love Lucy before. It's been a long time since I've watched any episodes, but I'm looking forward to watching I Love Lucy probably more than any of these other 8 shows in this group. So I Love Lucy, a heavy favorite for me to make it out of this group of 8. I don't know if the fan vote will decide anything, though. Let's go with Alfred Hitchcock Presents next, from October 2nd, 1955 was its premiere. It started on CBS, eventually moved to NBC mid-show, but the first several seasons were on CBS. My mother is a big fan of the show, a big fan of Alfred Hitchcock's show, so shout out to my mother if she is watching this video. I, however, have never seen one episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, so it will be very new to me when I watch it. I don't know what to expect from it. I know that it's like a different story every episode. Similar to this next show in this group, The Twilight Zone, which premiered October 2nd, 1959 on CBS. The Twilight Zone, I've seen some episodes of The Twilight Zone. I've seen some good episodes of The Twilight Zone back in the day when I was a kid in reruns. So I think The Twilight Zone probably will have some good stories, much like Alfred Hitchcock Presents. It's a new story every episode. So it's not a continuing story, which is what I enjoy more, frankly. But I think both Alfred Hitchcock and The Twilight Zone will be very interesting for me to check out. Next up is the Andy Griffith Show, which debuted in October of 1960 Also on CBS. So far, all four shows debuted are a CBS show. So that they had the hits. I think I've seen episodes of the Andy Griffith Show, and I gotta be honest, it's not my favorite thing. Some of my older family members love the Andy Griffith Show. I think, much like I said, I think I Love Lucy is laugh out loud funny. I don't really find Andy Griffith's show laugh out loud funny. So, it's going to be hard for me to grade a sitcom that isn't laugh out loud funny, because that's what I want from a sitcom in this tournament, is for it to actually be funny. But I will give Andy Griffith's show a chance, obviously. I'm not going to go into it and think it's not funny. Maybe it will prove me wrong now that I'm older. Maybe I will find it more funny. I don't know. But when I was a kid watching the Andy Griffith Show, unlike I Love Lucy, which made me laugh, the Andrew Griffith Show never really did. So we'll see if that has changed whenever we get to that show in this tournament. The Fugitive is a drama, I think maybe the first kind of continuing drama in this group. It debuted in September of 1963 on ABC, our first ABC show in this tournament. I have no idea what The Fugitive is. I assume it's about somebody who's escaped from prison and is on the run. But I've never seen an episode in my life. But it ranked high in grades. It ranked high on IMDb, which is how I kind of figured out how to do this 500 show plus tournament, by relying on IMDb a lot. It's also how we will get some of these matchups will be determined by the IMDb score and other scores on the internet, frankly. Doctor Who, a British show which debuted in November of 1963 on the British Broadcasting Channel. Never really seen Doctor Who. I've heard about it so much. It's a sci-fi show, I believe. So I think it's very time travel heavy or something to that effect. I am looking forward to seeing what I think of it, especially since it's been on for so long. If it started in the 60s and it's still on today, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I guess we will definitely find out in this tournament, won't we? Bewitched is next, September of 1964 on ABC. Show I did see a lot of reruns in when I was a kid as well. I am wondering if Bewitched is going to be a little too cheesy for me. For some reason, I remember it being cheesy. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know if that's going to make it less funny because it's so cheesy. That's kind of what a problem with some of these older sitcoms I might find. But that's why I included the fan vote in this tournament, because it shouldn't just be my opinion, although, of course, I hold my opinion very highly. But we will see what everybody else thinks when you are voting on these matchups. And lastly, the Addams Family, which also debuted September 1964 on ABC. Obviously, it still had some hit movies over time. Just Wednesday on Netflix recently, also a hit. So it's looking real interesting here for the Addams Family. I seen some episodes when I was younger. Frankly, when I was a kid, I always preferred the Munsters over the Addams Family. The Munsters will be in the next group. I think the Munsters was like CBS's answer to the Addams Family, kind of like a competition between the networks. They were playing hardball way back in 1964 with each other. But let's look at some of these first matchups for this group. We are going to have Bewitched versus the Twilight Zone. That should be an interesting matchup because we have a drama versus a sitcom there. That's going to be pretty hard to grade, I think, but I look forward to it. I Love Lucy versus the Addams Family. So to me, the Addams Family is going to have a rough go if it's going up against I Love Lucy. Because like I said, I Love Lucy actually does make me laugh, which I hold highly from a sitcom. And the Andy Griffith Show will go up against Alfred Hitchcock Presents, another sitcom versus a drama there. And then Doctor Who versus The Fugitive. I think Doctor Who is considered a drama. I guess we'll find out if it's true. I know British shows love to put comedy in everything. Just look at the British soap operas. They inject comedy into that all the time as well. So that will be a tough matchup because I know nothing about Doctor Who or The Fugitive. So, interesting matchups for our first group of older shows here. I hope y'all will join me, as this will be a long project, much like my soap opera project. But it is what it is, and I hope it will be fun.